All right, Bob, we're going to start with an easy one. Just tell me your name and spell it.
Bob Collins, Bob-Collins.
Are you from Frederick?
I've been in Frederick since 1958. I grew up in Custer County, Oklahoma, which is northwest of Clinton.
What was life like in Custer, Oklahoma, or in Frederick in '56 or '58 when you got here?
58 was a town. Frederick population was approximately 8,000. Today we're approximately 4,000, so we've decreased in size quite a bit. You can relate that to our school system, which the enrollment has gone down accordingly. It was a farming community. It was then and it is today. We've had some industry through the years, but nothing of great growth. Wonderful place to live. I've always enjoyed living in Frederick. Associated with the school system in '58 through '73, when I retired from public school and was county superintendent for another 15 years. And at that time I retired from the education system. Became a farmer, motel owner. My last 25 years I worked for the cotton industry in the state of Oklahoma. Raised 2 daughters here in Frederick. Grandkids all grew up here, 4 of them. They graduated. I had a grandson that played on football field team of '93,
State
'94,
championship.
'95, all 3 years. Coach Randy Biggs was one of his coaches. It was a very enjoyable time. And then, of course, they also won the next year. So that's kind of history of me in Frederick, Oklahoma.
What did Coach Wild bring you here?
No, a friend of mine had come here out of college. We graduated from southwestern Oklahoma at the same time, and he had come down here in '56, and he was junior high football coach here at that time. And I had gone to another place, and I was looking for a job, and he called and said they had an opening, and I applied for it and got the job.
What kind of person was Coach Wild?
Coach Wild was a unique fellow. That probably would be my first comment about Dean Wild. He was a mentor to me. I learned a lot of, not just necessarily football. I never considered myself as a football coach, but as a person, I learned a great deal from him of how to get along with people, how to treat people. He's a wonderful man, a good Christian man. Embarrass the crap out of you every now and then. He had a voice that was very unusual. If you were in a crowd, maybe even in church, if he said something, everybody in the room heard him. He could not whisper to you. So, needless to say, at times he would embarrass you. He's embarrassed me many a time. Not intentional, just because that's the way he talked. But a great fellow, just a great fellow. He loved kids. He treated every kid the same. It didn't make any difference who he was, who his parents were. Dean Wild made no difference. He treated them fair, and I learned to do that. And I think that's a good trait to have, even whether you're very successful in coaching or running a company or digging ditches.
Was he a stern coach?
Yes. Yes. Never mistreated a kid. But he was, I would have to say he was a stern coach, but fair.
How were practices? Were they tough? Did you all?
Yeah, but not excessively tough. He believed in a lot of good training. We did a lot of wind sprints and a lot of conditioning, and but they weren't just real tough.
What kind of offense did you run?
How often?
No, what kind of offense?
Oh.
Like, did you pass a lot? Did you run a lot?
No, we were basically a running offense. We tried, I guess the split tee came along about that time, and we ran that, but you had to have, the right kind of personnel to do that. And Dean was very adaptive to what the personnel was. The only thing we never did try was a single wing, I guess.
As far as play calling, did he call the plays?
Yes.
Offense and defense?
Yes. He was the only coach there. There was only two of us.
So you would go and scout?
I scouted. I very seldom saw our football team play. My duties were to go scout the next week's competition.
So having not been here in '56, what did you know about that team? I mean, when you were coming here?
What I knew, but before I came here, I didn't know very little other than I knew some about the '57 team because this friend that was here at that time, we would talk and he would tell me about those kids because he'd gotten familiar with who they were and what they were accomplishing. And so actually I didn't know very much about the '56 team at that time. But after I came here, Dean and I talked hours about, of course we were together hours a day. As Coach Biggs could tell you that, coaches spend a lot of time with each other. Sometimes more than they do their wife, it's just that way. So we became very well acquainted, and he told me a lot of stories about those kids and how tough some of them were, blacks and whites also. But that's kind of how I learned about these kids. But see, from '58 on, we did the same thing as the '56 team. The Boyd High School boys still came and played football with us, but they didn't go to school with us. So I was here 7 years with Dean, and under those same conditions.
Did the numbers increase after the championship in '56? Did you see more black kids come out?
Not really. It stayed pretty constant. I noticed that I think there were 12 on the '56 team, and that's about how many we would have each year. It might decrease some, and depending. We had several kids, both black and white, that were good football players, but we never could get a group together that could win or play like '56 or '57 team did. Any
final thoughts you'd like us to know about Coach Wild or the football team or the community?
Well, I could tell you so many stories about Dean Wild and I. He could be funny. He could be very, very funny about certain things. I'd like to tell you one instance. This was basketball. He coached basketball. He coached everything. He coached football, head basketball, head track coach. I was assistant. That's it, period. And kind of odd now to see, I go to the Bombers game and they've got 8 coaches down on the sideline, And that's great. I'm not being critical of that. That's just how it is. Didn't have the money to do it back when I was here. But one funny thing that happened, we were in a basketball tournament at Altus, and we were playing Eisenhower, which is a school out of Lawton. They were just beating the hound out of us. In the afternoon, probably 5 people in the stands, but Coach Wild gets a technical foul. I'm sitting on the bench with him. And he says something else, and he gets another technical foul. And I'm thinking, boy, this is not going to be good, because they're going to throw him out of the game, and I'm going to have to finish coaching. Well, sure enough, he gets the third one. And the referee says, Dean, well, we all knew each other, and he said, do you have anything else to say? And Coach Wiles said, I sure do. Oh, this is going to be it. And he said, okay, what is it? He said, I hope the hell that kid misses those free throws. And I've thought about that years, and the official, he said, sit down and shut up, Dean. So those are some funny things that I remember, I recall about him, and he was always doing something like that. He was quick-witted and wonderful fellow. I just thought the world of him. And we remained real close until he died a couple, 3 years ago.
Yeah, one more thing. Do you think he realized what he was doing by bringing the black players over?
No,
I mean,
no. I don't think that ever impressed him at all. In my opinion, I can't speak for him, but he did what he thought was the right thing to do, and that was to give those kids an opportunity. And it started out by giving them an opportunity to run track with him in the spring of '56. And I think when that happened, he didn't know that there would be a chance for them to play football for him here at Frederick High. But as that progressed, and then he supported it and encouraged it, along with the principal at Boyd High was a fellow by the name of Prof. Kennedy, very instrumental in the same situation that Dean was. They're the two guys that sold it and made it work. Prof supported this very much so in his community, and Dean supported it here in this community, and it was pretty well accepted. But, you think back in '56, prejudice was there. I mean, there was no denying it. We still had signs in the Tillman County Courthouse that blacks drink out of this water fountain. The other one was for the white people. Restaurants rooms was for blacks only. I mean, that's just the way it was. And it was not easy. But Dean Wild he didn't care. He'd drink water out of that black fountain just as well as he would out of the white. He didn't care. Didn't matter to him.
Bob, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
So informative.